Okay, today we're going somewhere, well, somewhere more alien than the moon, and honestly, more mysterious than Mars. We're talking about a world that covers most of our planet, yet, it's almost completely unknown. We're diving deep, deep into the ocean.
I love this because it just hits the nail on the head, right? We're always looking up at the stars, thinking about the next great frontier. But what if the biggest mysteries are right here, right under the waves, in a world that just completely challenges everything we thought we knew about life?
80%. Just let that sink in for a second. Over 80% of our own ocean is a total mystery. It's unmapped, unexplored, it's just blank. Get this, we literally have more detailed maps of the surface of Mars than we do of our own planet's seafloor. How wild is that?
So, it begs the question, right? What is actually down there? What kind of creatures have figured out how to live in a place with zero light and pressure that would crush a tank? Well, to even begin to answer that, we've got to start thinking in layers.
Yeah, see, the ocean isn't just one big body of water. You really have to think of it vertically. It's kind of like a skyscraper with different floors, and each floor is its own unique world. As we go down, every single rule of survival just gets thrown out the window.
So up top you have the sunlit zone. It's pretty straightforward, right? Life is all about that sunshine. Survival means blending in, using camouflage. But then you sink down into the twilight zone. And everything changes. The sun is basically gone, so animals have to get creative. We're talking massive eyes to catch any tiny photon of light, or even crazier, they start making their own light. That's bioluminescence.
And this is where you find some of the most bizarre, almost alien-like creatures on the planet. I mean, look at the vampire squid. This thing hangs out where there's barely any oxygen, and if it gets scared, it flips itself inside out, showing off these spiny arms. And you can't talk about the deep without mentioning the anglerfish, right? That classic swimming nightmare with its own built-in fishing rod, a glowing lure that it just dangles in the total darkness, waiting for something to get a little too curious.
Okay, but let's go even deeper. We've reached the abyssal plain, and down here, the pressure is just insane. Imagine having a big truck parked on your thumbnail. That's what we're talking about. And sunlight, it has never, ever reached this place. It's a world of constant, freezing darkness. So you have to wonder, how on earth could anything possibly live here? But here's the amazing part. Life doesn't just survive down there. It thrives. I mean, these insane conditions have forced evolution to come up with some of the most mind-blowing adaptations you can imagine. It completely pushes the limits of what we thought was even possible for life.
A perfect example? Hydrothermal vents. So picture these cracks in the seafloor, basically like underwater volcanoes, and they're just blasting out super hot, chemical-filled water from the Earth's core. And the life here, it doesn't need sunlight at all. Nope. It feeds directly on those chemicals. It's this whole process called chemosynthesis. It's an entire food web, an entire ecosystem that has absolutely nothing to do with the sun. It's incredible. And the survival tricks are just as clever. A lot of animals down there basically use their own sonar to see in the pitch black. And then you got these amazing partnerships, these unexpected friendships. You have tiny pilot fish that clean sharks, or clownfish that have made a fortress for themselves inside a stinging anemone. It's all this intricate teamwork, because down there, working together is sometimes the only way to make it.
So for thousands, millions of years, these deep-sea worlds have been completely isolated, totally untouched by what's happening up here on the surface. But that's changing. Now our actions are sending these echoes down into the deepest, most remote places on the planet. And look, this isn't some loud, dramatic invasion. It's way sneakier. It's a silent invasion, a slow creep of our influence. Everything we do up here is sending ripples down into these ancient worlds. And honestly, we're only just starting to figure out what the consequences are. And here are the three big ones. First, microplastics, our trash. They've now been found in animals living in the deepest trenches on Earth. Then there's deep sea mining, which could just completely wipe out these unique habitats that took thousands of years to form. And finally, all our CO2 emissions, they're making the ocean more acidic. And that's literally dissolving the shells of the tiny creatures that are the foundation of the entire ocean food web. Our footprint is showing up in places we haven't even visited yet.
Okay, so that's all pretty heavy, I know. It's a sobering reality. But it is not the end of the story, not by a long shot. The good news is, understanding the problem is always the first step. And right now, there's a huge movement building to protect our planet's blue heart. And there are some really cool things happening that give us hope.
Conservation efforts are underway to create these huge protected parks in the ocean to keep these places safe. And the technology is getting so much better. We have these amazing new robots and cameras that let us explore the deep without, messing anything up. We can study it without disturbing it.
And this is where you come in. Because look, the ocean is massive, and it's easy to feel like, what can I possibly do? But honestly, small things done by a lot of people add up to a huge impact. Things like cutting back on single-use plastic, making sure the seafood you eat is from a sustainable source. And maybe the most important one, just talk about it. Share what you know. Spread the word. It all helps.
At the end of the day, these hidden worlds, they aren't as far away as they seem. They are connected to us. And their future, and really our future too, depends on the choices we're making right now. So, I'll leave you with this question. What role are you going to play in all this?